Today's video is about a young female in probation, federal probation of Puerto Rico, which I have to be honest. I hope this video is short because I keep talking sometimes too much, but I'm going to be honest. I kind of felt bad for her. In my mind, the poor girl doesn't know any better. Let's just put it that way. But the reason why I put the image here of a cigarette is because sadly she's been passed around like a cigarette. It's like the example of a group of guys, they're buddies, maybe a gang, a group of not so good guys, and they're smoking, but there's only one cigarette, and they pass the cigarette around to each other. That's pretty much this female. She's very young. I believe she's in her mid-20s. But right now, of course, years back, early 20s. But yeah, she's been passed around big time. And everybody there knows about it. To older guys, the guys my age. To guys my age. The thing is that, once again, it's a bit disturbing. To be honest, I remember when I found out from one of the guys, and then eventually the second, since I'm not there, I don't know what's happened ever since. But again, guys in our late 40s or early 50s, they've passed this young, right now she should be in her mid-20s, very skinny, fragile. But again, it's, I remember while I was there, I kind of wonder, man, if, I would be embarrassed if I had a daughter like that. Honestly, I would. I would be just totally, totally embarrassed to have a daughter being passed around like a joint, like a cigarette. But hey, I'm not here to judge. I'm just here once again to describe what's probably very common at the workplace today. A lot of passing around of both men and guys and girls. Right now, I don't know if she accuses the old partners she's had of anything. Will she have a legitimate claim? Because again, today's rules of harassment or assault, they're so, I don't know, they make no sense. Something from the past should stay in the past, but we've seen in Hollywood, very famous, men and politicians, men, that despite things being very old, they still catch up to them. And I don't know, women seem to always be supposedly the victim when she voluntarily passed herself around, whether in Hollywood or in the arena of politics, even sports. But, in this case, the workplace, how could you have a legitimate claim of you volunteering to be, passed around like a cigarette to different guys? And again, I don't think she's going to do anything of that nature. I don't think she's going to complain or accuse anybody of any hanky-panky misconduct. But I think, one of the biggest concerns here is, at least in my mind, is, does the Me Too movement or any, because I'll just keep bashing that movement because I think that's what's made things worse in the last 10 years. Do they even have they even taken into consideration, again, the fact that a female lends herself to, to be used in this manner. Then again, I don't know. I don't know if in my mind it's not normal, but maybe it's normal in society, and I'm the idiot here. I'm the one that's somewhat out of line, air quotes, because again, it just doesn't seem. Again, I'll just, my face would drop to the ground. If my daughter would ever, live that lifestyle of passing herself around to older men, men that could be their father. Let's be honest. Again, I know of two guys. I'm pretty sure there have been others. Because once you live that pattern, or you have that pattern in your life, you don't necessarily stop. You don't all of a sudden become a different person. So, but again, these are details that I believe should also be taken into account when it comes to investigating claims, or when Me Too wants to defend women. I think Me Too should educate women, and let them know you shouldn't behave this way or that way when it comes to being promiscuous, because you're sending out the wrong message. And yeah, guys can use you, and you should not technically have a claim if that's the type of woman you are. But I believe they do. I believe they still do, because again, when it comes to Hollywood women, they've been passed around, getting contracts for movies and moving up, in Hollywood roles. But then 10 years later, when they're broke again, they want to somehow get money still from these people, from these executives and producers, etc. But when they were getting money 10 years before, when they were young and beautiful and they were making money, it wasn't a problem for a lot of these Hollywood actresses, again, to be passed around like a cigarette. Again, when they were getting money, when they were getting parts in movies, when they were benefiting from the guy, no complaint. Years later, when now they're kind of like broke, now they became a victim. Now in their mind, I don't know, feminists or Me Too or whatever agency or ideologies convinced them, no, you were a victim back then. Oh, really? But why didn't she complain then? Why didn't she, quit Hollywood back then? I'm giving an example. I'm getting off rail here, but again, I feel bad for that young girl. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's still there. I was aware of her being there when I was terminated. But again, this gives us more to think about, of how the workplace is very toxic in this sense. Both men and women, just interchanging each other, sexually, with different peoples, in many cases being unfaithful to spouses. But this is something that doesn't get cleaned up. Human resources, again, I keep saying they're a failure. They don't clean up the behavior of women. When they want to fix the problem, it's too late, and then their solution is getting rid of the guy. Which again, I have to reiterate, I was not terminated for that. It was more for my comments. I think one day I'm going to probably, on the computer, create a video on the email that I got, on the reasons why I was terminated, and be more transparent on that. Eventually, I believe I will do that, and you guys can see with your own eyes, that I'm not making things up, as to the reasons of my termination. But I need, I just need time. Sometimes I just do what comes to mind, at the moment. But again, it's shameful, to be honest. It's shameful. And when it comes to that other video that I created about the girl being unfaithful, but yet the guy is to blame, same thing. I found out that she was also, and again, this is now third party. This is more like gossip, alleged. I found out from females that she was being passed around to as well. And that's not good. Again, it's not good. It's not good for women to do that to themselves. I remember many years ago there was one female, older, around my age. She herself told me once that there was one that has slept with a bunch of people up in, when the FBI was on the fifth floor. There were a lot of the guys there. And I remember she told me, I'm not going to mention her name, but she told me, I don't know how that other female can do that. You know how private your body is? And again, and she put this face of disgust. You know how private your body parts are for you to let just anybody inside of you? That is very, very intimate, my God. How could she do that? Again, I'm paraphrasing what she said. And she's right. She's right. How is it that women nowadays, especially the younger, just let any man inside of you like that? Again, being passed around like a cigarette. Something so intimate of yours. To me, it's mind-boggling, and I'm not even a girl. Honestly, I'm very conservative. I still have the imperfections of a man, especially in language. Again, I've never been unfaithful to my wife. I have treated women extremely nicely. I've given them nice things. I don't see anything. I don't see anything wrong with that, personally. But again, we all have different views in life. But if you don't fall in line with, I guess, with the views of feminists or Me Too, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not a woman. But again, it's sad. It's sad that that particular girl, and I interacted with her. She's very nice. Very sweet, to be honest. But no one should, especially females, you shouldn't let yourself be passed around like that. You're not. Again, in my mind, I always think of the worst words like, harlot or whore or prostitute, whatever. Because that's what these women that sell themselves on the street corner do. They pass themselves around to clients. In this case, it's free when it comes to coworkers or people, in other arenas. But if we want to clean up the workplace and truly be a moral entity, like again, U.S. Probation of Puerto Rico, at the federal level, you should start there. HR should start there. And it should be enforced, not just give a little pathetic training and never enforce it at all. No, that's you guys are failing. You guys are doing a miserable job. Because it's like it's like a country. Imagine a governor, or senators, Congress putting out laws, and policemen never hold people accountable. People take the red light. Nobody. Again, if police officers never did their job, things are gonna get bad, and that's exactly what has happened here in U.S. District Court of Puerto Rico. Things have gotten bad, and to be honest, HR doesn't fully understand the gross of it. They are aware of it, but they don't know how really bad it is. Because believe me, it's a lot worse than they think. They're aware that there's a problem, but they don't know to what level it is. And they're supposed to be the watchers. They're supposed to be the experts. And they suck at that too. In many cases, I've told HR up in probation, and that's how she finds out, or found out. I don't know if she's still there. I know she was retiring. But the point again is, ladies, don't do that to yourselves. Don't. Like that girl told me years ago, that's, how can you just open your legs to almost any guy, you can get disease, not only that, guys talk about these things. They will describe what they did to you, and they will make fun of certain parts of your body. They will make fun of if your breasts were tiny or not, or, They're gonna share with guys, your, your screaming, or your, how you put your face, or how you like it. They share these things, and I'm pretty sure girls do the same thing. I mean, I remember one time one female told me, there's another female, told me that women tend to be worse when it comes to talking about those subjects. But again, a food for thought. If anybody out there even cares about their workplace, and I invite people to honestly create videos of this type of the workplace. I think we should create awareness, because HR sucks at what they do. They don't do anything but just give you a stupid little training that does nothing. No, again, people never change. People never get better, both men and women, and they don't enforce what should be enforced. Maybe this way, if online, on social media, on YouTube, on Rumble, if people start talking of their experiences at their workplaces, maybe we will discourage people themselves directly, because again, HR is going to keep failing. It's like politicians. Politicians promise a lot of things, but they don't do anything in the end. Politicians say a bunch of great things, but they fail for the most part, just like HR. So I'm thinking, if anybody that work in these two federal agencies here in Puerto Rico, if any of them see these videos, despite the fact that I put that they shouldn't watch my videos, they're gonna I'm thinking they're gonna think twice before doing anything. Because again, if you put it out there, if you whistleblow a lot of their behavior, whether with names or not, they're gonna say, let me think this through, because I don't want this guy or that girl creating videos or putting out there in social media, embarrassing me, or borderline getting me divorced from my current partner for infidelity, etc. Well, in any case, again, it's, ladies, stop letting yourself be passed around like a cigarette, like a joint. That's not good. That's not healthy. Your reputation one day, if you have kids, you don't want your kids to one day become aware that you pass yourself around, and you slept with your neighbor, you slept with this guy, you slept with that guy, it's just horrible. It's horrible. I mean, again, maybe I'm too antiquated. Maybe I'm the problem. I don't know. Maybe I'm the problem. Well, that's it for this video.